everybody, welcome to LT Gaming. My name is Tom and today we are taking a look at Stolen Realm. Before we get started, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's subscribed recently. We really appreciate the support, and if you are enjoying the content, please make sure to like, comment and subscribe, as it's helping me and Luke grow this channel really quickly, and we just can't wait to make more content for you guys. So, what is Stolen Realm? So Stolen Realm is a turn-based tactical dungeon crawler that you would say has action RPG elements that make up the core gameplay, where you can have up to 6 heroes and play either solo or in online co-op. And this is all set in a high fantasy, low poly world. A thing I want to note just before we dive into it too deeply is that this game is in early access still and should be noted as such. So there will be a lot of changes and updates, as undoubtedly they expand and bring more balance to the game. So let's dive into the character customization screen. So you can see here I've been playing through with some existing characters of varying levels, and let's just to showcase this to you, we can go into the character creation screen itself with a new character and look through the presets that exist. Now, these really are presets in every sense of the word, as there are over, I think it's 240 different skills in this game, and there is no linear pathway that you need to follow, meaning that you can essentially be a pure warrior through and through, or you can pick and choose different skills to create a hybrid class of your own. And it's all about building characters to suit different situations that you're going to need and to synergize with your other characters. So just to demonstrate this to you, we will take a wizard as a fairly standard archetype of the RPG world. And we can begin here with the attributes. There are minor changes we can do and take away certain points to reassign them to different areas. So might isn't as set as like intelligence is for sorcerers and wizards, and might is for warriors. You can see that the power of all your damage and healing skills is going to be, or your summons is going to be increased by having more might. So there's a lot of kind of flexibility here to look through and kind of customize. Then we go into the skills, which is where this game really comes into its own, I believe. So we have the fairly standard wizard disciplines of fire, lightning and cold. And then you have warrior light, which is all centered around healing and buffing. Ranger skills, shadow, which is your typical necromancer and summoning undead creatures skills, thief, which is centered around ambushing and poison, and monk, which seems to be a variety and blend of many different styles, but tends to suit tanky, high damage characters, I think, in my limited knowledge. So for this new character, we can create a bit of a hybrid to showcase this to you. So let's create a healer, and we'll give him the cure skill to start. We could also equip him with another, we'll take Blessed by Light to reduce mana costs, which is going to help with all disciplines. And then we can finally cross-train him to a Lightning Light wizard, and give him some attack prowess with, we'll say, the shock skill. And there we have it. We have our own custom skill set, and as we level up, we can continue to change and choose as we need and as we want to build our unique class. Then everything else is fairly standard when it comes to RPGs. You can use the randomize button, which is what I mostly use until I find a character which is interesting. Look at this guy, blonde hair, blue eyes, and we will then get the choice of a starting weapon. And we can also select to make the game hardcore, so that means, you know, you die, you are gone, which I do like that element as well. And there we go, we have Robin, our new hybrid wizard. So now let's jump into the game itself, and I can showcase the town screen, the UI, and of course the fighting core mechanics of the game. So before jumping into the game proper, we have to build a party from the available different characters that we have. So we can take LT Gamer, Trax, Morgan. So these are all different characters I've been playing with. And we'll take Jamie, and then we click accept party. But first of all, there is of course the difficulty. The great thing about this, it is kind of similar to, I think I've seen this in Diablo as well. So a lot of different RPGs. So the greater the difficulty, the greater the loot drops, which encourages you to challenge yourself consistently, and I really like the system. We'll stick with classic for now, and then accept party, and we are promptly taken into the town screen. So the town screen is fairly rudimentary right now. You have the standard stash and different shops. So you have I believe this guy sells, so he sells like ingredients for crafting. You have the blacksmith where you can buy items and craft different items there. We have a potion shop, and this guy is trinkets, so amulets and rings. So if we go to the armory, we can click shop and we'll see some very nice weaponry here for sale. But we can also pop into the craft screen where this game really starts to allow you to customize. And there must be thousands upon thousands of combinations. So we can see I have some different items here. Assassin's Edge of Frost. And I can add in different prefixes to it. So keen or bristled. And these will all add different effects. So gloom will add shadow skill. Damage increased by 2%. This is very similar to a Diablo style system or even Borderlands, where there are different additions to each item that you can add on. Fit, keen, bristled, gloom, and they all have their own effect and contribute to the build that you are going for. So when we are ready, we can then click on the instance, and you have the different quests available here. You can see I've completed those ones. So we would go with the mountain pass and hit start. And after a short load screen, we get a little blurb about the giants being peaceful, but not as of late. And this is the game UI here. So essentially there is one event or creature that you'll have to complete before you're able to progress into the different rooms that will unlock. So I will jump into the battle and show you guys what that looks like, and then afterward what is unlocked when you complete the battle. So without further ado, let's win this battle. So I will start with Trax, and we will get his summons going, but of course he's a bit weaker than the other characters health wise, so let's withdraw him back and we'll raise up a skeletal warrior. Let's use him as a blocker right there. Fantastic. Alright, and I can also use the Troubled Mind to apply some poison, but I'm out of range for that, so I will just end Trax's turn and we'll move on to LT Gamer. So Bless is a good way to start this off, which comes from his item, just to give a nice buff to health, mana, and damage. And we will freeze the ground in a target area. Now they're probably going to close in on us, so let's just jump forward a little bit. That's the technical term, jump. And we will freeze those two characters in place. Hopefully, slow them down a bit. And then use a frost shard on the treant. We can't reach him. We are out of range again for both attacks. Let's jump forward one. And we will use the frost shard on the treant. And chill is applied to him. A good thing to note in all these battles is the environments. So there are crates, there are different barrels, sometimes they're explosive barrels, lightning barrels, and there are also these shrines. So this Guardian Shrine is very useful for them, but luckily this character is not a ranged character, I don't think, so he's going to have to close the distance. Otherwise, I'd have to close over and kind of take them out under the buff of this shrine. So some shrines buff you, some shrines don't buff you. So this one is going to mean they take increased damage whilst dealing more damage. That's a bit of a risky one for me. All right, I'll end the turn of LT Gamer. Now, what is the range on my rune? Alright. So I'm going to cast a rune here as a trap. Hopefully they'll come forward to try and engage and detonate this. And meanwhile, we will head over here and firebolt the captain. Now, this is our tanky character, Morgan. I think for now I'll bring him over to engage the Bloodmask Captain. There's not a lot I can do. Ooh, I could use the slam, but I won't bother just yet as it will have a cooldown of 3. So I'll just end my turn. Now my monk is very buffed from movement and he gets increased buff called momentum as he moves more. So 35% to his next hit. I will use damage reduction, so he can't get hit as hard by the captain. And then we'll deliver a nice little front kick to the face. Alright, Tracker's Mark is what I like to use to increase the damage on characters. We'll then poison buff. And we'll start taking out this captain wholeheartedly. Now, this captain's not going to be able to break away unless if he does try to, it will give an attack of opportunity from Hunter there. Let's just end the turn there, and now it's time for the enemies to move. Alright, that all worked mostly to plan. The captain retreated, the bandit took a huge amount of damage from the fire rune, and the treant is engaged to the skeletal warrior. Engaged by the skeletal warrior. Alright, so let's get Archer up now. And the Archer has absolutely decimated this dude. He's gone flying. This is a really cool thing in this game, that there's like almost ragdoll physics when they get hit hard. Now the treant is going to be a problem with his health. So we're going to start getting some poison stacks on him. Deep freeze. Encircle your foe, applying 5 stacks of chill. Alright. Let's just get the treant frozen in place. And then I can use the range attack on him. Now I will pop on over here and immolate the Bloodmask Captain. Keep the damage on him. And it doesn't look as though I can make it all the way. But I'll use Hunter, my monk, to get close. And with momentum, he should actually almost kill this guy now. He's a very tanky character, so he should be fine. Let's end his turn. And we're back to Morgan, our warrior tanky guy. So let's rock him forward and use double edge on the treant. He takes a bit of damage. Oh, I should use fracture first. My bad. Fracture applies. We can always right click and see what effects are on them, but fracture lowers their resistances. Now, I think it will help with these effects that he's taking. And I know poison will hurt his regen as well. Alright, let's end the turn. And we have Jamie with his poison attack from range. Okie doke. We counter-attacked over here, and then he was killed by heat, it looks like. And now we're back to just 2 tracks. Our Necromancer And they don't have much left, so I think I'll start with... Let's go with the range guys and try and drop this treant. Can't hunter's mark anyone though, so I'll just hold off. We'll just use a... We have a melee attack now actually, so I did have a range attack before with a staff, but I have switched up Trax's weapons. He now has a beautiful shovel that you can see here. And we will just end his turn there. We won't do too much. Few range attacks. Now he also is melee, so I will just fire blast the treant from here. And he is down. We're almost through all our characters, but I'll just get the monk. Hunter rushing toward. And I'll do the same with Morgan. Now one ranged enemy left. Morgan has some thorns or damage auras, so he's getting hit and dealing damage back as he does so. Alrighty. Poison dagger. Fantastic. I mean, I'm not playing optimally here because there's not really much they can do at this point. He's blind, he's poisoned, it's just not going well for him, let's be honest. And we'll use... Oh, he's out of range for Frost Shard. Oh, we don't have a line of sight on him, so we can't attack there. And let's just drop a big bomb on him, which is the fireball. Oh my god. Beautiful. And that is a victory for us. So we can see here we got some loot, and the loot is better because we're playing on one higher difficulty than I was before. So it's quite nice loot, I must say. I'm quite fond of this longbow of static. And we got experience and gold, of course. So this gives you a good idea of the combat in the game, and then you can subsequently see the unlocked paths that have been revealed now. We have an event, we have, it looks like gold, and then on the legend, this is a battle. So we will progress through the level by choosing different forks, so we can choose battles usually every time or different events, or you can keep going for treasure and rest until finally you'll get to the boss, which you'll fight, and if you beat the boss, then you've completed that quest. And here we are back in the town screen and hanging out at the fountain, the perfect place for us to give our conclusion on this game and whether or not it is a buy. So there are a few things I think of when looking at roguelike tactical RPGs, of which I've played a lot. One, are they innovative, addictive? Do they have a degree of depth to them? And what is the replayability like? And I can quite emphatically say for Stolen Realm on all four of these criteria that it has them in abundance. The class system, over 240 skills, and then you layer on top a massive and expansive item and crafting system. There is so many synergies and strategies that you can approach this game with. I love it. It is extremely addictive as well. I have found myself, playing this game a lot lately, and I am keen to just keep kind of building on my characters, trying to augment their abilities and get the kind of optimal builds going. And as a result of those first two things, I would definitely say there is a degree of depth to the game. I am yet to get to the high tiers, but I have found that there is a great deal of challenge in the bosses. And I do think with the difficulty settings as well, that it's going to offer, that depth that I look for from these games. And then finally, the replayability value is very high. I've already found myself making more and more characters. than I need. And I can see myself coming back to this game again and again, as I'm someone who thrives on the customization and the flexibility that this game does offer. So all in all, I will say Stolen Realm is a definite buy. If you're a fan of the genre, it's a no-brainer. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this should you buy video. If you have and you've got this far, please consider subscribing if you've enjoyed the content. And if you haven't, thank you for listening to me anyway. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye now.